Hey there, Fro Nation. Welcome back. Yeah, I'll give you a little update on what we've been doing. We've been filming a lot. We've been doing the, what we've been filming? I can say this, Ari, right? I won't get shot. The Fro Knows Photo Beginner Flash Guide. We've been laying that down over the past couple weeks. We've hammered it out. We've made it cool. We're hoping to get that up and out when the weather starts to be nice here on the East Coast, but it could be nice where you are, anywhere in the world. But really, we've been having a lot of fun. I'm dealing with getting ready to move again, and some of you guys have seen a little bit of the new loft because I put up a picture, and that's cool. But today on the Fro Knows Photo Raw Talk, we've got Jeff Sachs. We're in his studio. It's cool. He's got a what do you call that thing, Jeff? What's that thing up there again? I know. I was just asking. He's got an office.
It's a 66 Yellowstone camper trailer.
Yeah, he's got a trailer hanging out of the boot end of an office up there, and it's just a really cool place. And you're going to hear all about the story, so he doesn't have to sit here and do it again during the intro. But he's going to really jump to all that stuff, and it's some fascinating stuff. And Richie sat in on this as well. So what we have is a secret word that's really good for you guys to listen to this time. You find the secret word. Make sure you get it. You put it out on Twitter. You put it out on Facebook. You put it wherever you want. Actually, that's funny. You put it wherever you want. That goes well with whatever it ended up being. So I want to thank Drobo for being a sponsor. Check out the new Drobo Mini. I know that Richie as a Digitech would love a Drobo Mini. Maybe I'll have to get it to him one day. But you got the Drobos. You're not on air, Richie. I'm doing an intro. So stop interrupting my intro. Stop being that guy. You're like, anyway, I'll keep going. So, no, we're not doing it. I'm just doing an intro, which means I talk to the camera. Anyway, I'm getting the whirly bird from Ari. I got to keep going. So thank you to Drobo for their support. allenscamera.com if you're in the United States and you want to pick up something, anything, Nikon, Canon, you name it. Allen's Camera's got it. And I came up with a new slogan for them. And I forgot what it is. It's something with like sniff testing it. If you want to sniff test it, you can do it here. It sounded much better when I came up with it yesterday. But there you got that. And then the new I Shoot Raw shirt. There's a new design. It's the coolest design we've had. Check it out in the store right now. It's store.froknowsphoto.com. You can pick it up by itself. There's multiple different combos that are awesome. Check that one out. I think you're going to really dig the new design. So let's get into this week's Fro Knows Photo Raw Talk with Jeff Sachs. Jeff, tell me, how did you end up with a ass end of a trailer hanging out of your second story up here in the studio?
How did I end up with that? I bought that for a self-promotion piece with my old sales rep a long time ago. And then when I built this building, I thought, you know what? That'd be a great office. And then we hung it on the second floor, and it was just something silly. You know?
Yeah. How'd you get it up there?
Forklift. When I built the building, we just left the floor open, and left the walls open, and then just made a big, what was it, like a big pallet underneath it, and rented a hand truck or a forklift, brought it up, went in 15 minutes.
Oh, not bad. Yeah. So did you decide, were you using other people's studios and just decided it was time to have your own?
Now, I had a space in Doylestown that got bought out from under me. I was renting there for almost 8 years, and a big real estate investor got it before I could get it and tried to up my rent by 700%. So
only 700%?
Yeah.
Nothing major.
No. He wanted to go from $550 a month to, all right, maybe not 700, but over 4,000 a month because it was Doylestown.
Wait, you went from 700?
I was like 550, and then it went to he wanted 3,900.
And you said,
and he was prorating in the existing 2 years that were still on my lease, so it wouldn't be ridiculous.
Nice guy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So you just gave him the finger and said, "Screw you, I'm going."
I
home?
sat out the last 2 years of the lease and built this here on my property at home.
Now, when you're building your own studio, did you get everything that you wanted out of it?
Pretty much, yeah. I had a budget, but at the time, things were going good. We had some good pharmaceutical jobs happening, so I didn't cheap out on a lot of the stuff. The size-wise, I wish now maybe I would have gone a little wider. We're 36 feet wide and 68 long. The shooting space is probably 50 by 36.
I mean, it's a big shooting space. I did, 4 days of video shooting in here? a couple weeks ago, and that was pretty good. So thank you again for letting us.
That was my pleasure.
Having us come in.
You were the first person to ever rent.
That's good, and I got to thank Richie for doing that. Richie, thanks for the hookup, bro.
Yeah, of course, man. Always glad to help.
I love looking at Richie when he sits over here on the microphone because he's always so self-conscious. I can see it. He's like, "Am I doing this right?"
Well, no, I know I mumble, and I know I have a tendency to look around and not talk straight into the microphone.
You know what's funny? You texted Jeff, and he's like, be here in 5. And I said something like, he's probably deciding on what shoes to wear.
Yeah. No. I coordinate my shoes pretty easily. Now I have such a wide variety.
Wait. His shoes are blue. It matches his hat.
Well, he only wears them for 2 days and then he throws them out. So maybe he doesn't have the broad selection.
I was going to send them to Africa, and I just said, nah.
Well,
Tom's has got that covered.
Anybody that follows Richie's Instagram will see that 80% of the photos are of his feet somewhere.
I have a vast selection of Vans, and each day, if I'm on set, different shoes. And
What's your Instagram?
just Richie Myers.
At Richie Myers.
Just at Richie Myers.
Find him up on there. Jeff, I followed yours. What's yours?
My Instagram is Jeff Sachs, I believe. It's Jeff. It's bottoms.
Just hashtag
JSP
Inc.
Or JSP Inc.
You can find them that way, too.
Yeah.
You can see some interesting things that you put up there. And I saw something you did. You were in the wilderness.
I do a lot of wilderness stuff.
What were you doing?
I'm an avid backpacker, snowshoer, rock climber. Well, I'm getting a little old for the rock climbing stuff, but I still climb, but not like I did in a day. But
Well, you have a rock climbing wall built into your studio.
it's just for the fat boy factor, to try to keep me in shape.
Well, who belays you?
I have a 12-year-old daughter who's very capable.
Yeah.
We just chain her to the floor so we don't lift her off the ground when it's time to lower me down.
There's a tire on the garage door so she doesn't float in the air.
I wanted to try that, but I mean that's so tough on the fingers.
It is hard.
You gotta have these big bear claws like him.
Yeah.
Damn these ham hands.
Yeah, you got them. So you were what, in the Adirondacks for 4 days?
Yeah, we've this time we went for 4 days to now I forget already. It was called the Cat Mountain, not Mirror Lake, Cat Mountain. It'll come to me. It's the northern Adirondacks where there's not a lot of people. We've gone to Marcy in the High Peaks region, which gets slammed with hikers and day trippers and peak baggers, where we kind of like to go.
Is peak baggers a bad thing? Is that like a D bag?
No. And peak baggers, I have a couple of good friends that are peak baggers, but it's not our thing. We like going and hike for a day, stop, camp, and then move on. Where peak baggers will go, they'll squat at a lean-to and do day hikes from there, and then go back to the lean-to at night.
What the hell is a lean-to?
It's just a 3-sided, kind of like
a shed.
It's
type
like a
thing.
shed, but they're
half a
it's
log
the Adirondacks, so it's made out of big logs, and it looks cool. And
Oh,
it's,
all right.
it's nothing heated.
like shelter.
It's basically a 3-sided shelter to keep you out of the rain and snow.
I get it now. I get it. So the D bags go to the shelter.
Right.
I mean, and then they climb. And then
No,
they-
we will too. I mean, if there's a lean-to available, it's much nicer than putting up a tent.
You shit in the woods.
Absolutely.
Dig
Well,
a
the
hole.
Adirondacks has toilets.
They do.
Well, little outhouses. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So are you shooting out there?
Actually, now, yes. I brought some Nathan let me get this right. Nathan Performance Products along with me.
So I assume that you do some shooting for these Nathan Performance Products people.
Yes, I do a lot of their studio product stuff. In the last year, I've decided I want to get more into outdoor adventure gear. It's just, like I said, a big hobby of mine is backpacking and climbing and whatnot, and I never bring a camera along. So if I have one, it's my A100 Nikon, just because you don't know what that is.
Richie?
My A100.
That's the
little
weatherproof.
Yeah, the little
one
bomb-proof
with GPS.
Yeah.
Right. I had to think of what's the A1 because I'm thinking of the A1
It's the
from
AW
Canon.
100.
Yeah,
Right,
it's a
the
Nikon.
AW.
Yeah.
Because the
is it AW?
100, there's like a little Canon point and shoot.
Right.
Oh, it's an AW.
This is from our retail days.
Well, that's why
All
he's
this
the
nonsense.
Digitech, and I just pushed a button.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we know that.
30 cables.
Right, and trip over cables.
I heard that. We'll tell that story in a minute. How do you go about getting this job from Nathan?
A friend of mine freelances as a designer there and got me in the door and just showed him basically a lot of my studio product stuff. Like I said, I have some outdoor stuff. A friend of mine, Vince, we went together on pitching them. He does a lot of mountain biking and outdoor stuff. We went in there and knocked their socks off, hopefully, and they've been coming back now for quite a while.
Well, that's good. I mean, we know that it's hard today to get those big corporate jobs because so many people internally, they bring in these internal people to shoot, and they don't know what they're doing, but they don't care. They wouldn't even mind taking Instagram photos or iPhone photos and just sending them out on a job and going, oh, we love these. It's so unique. Let's put a filter on it.
Let's zap it. And yeah, there you go.
So you're pretty old school. I mean, pretty old school. I think
very old school. Yeah,
entirely, literally.
Entirely.
It's not a backhanded compliment. He's literally old school.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I know that you went to Antonelli before Richie and I were born.
Right.
Was it before? What year was that?
It was just about.
No,
I think I was 4
80?
when you graduated.
Oh, you were still
82?
shitting orange,
Yeah.
but no, you were born. Yeah.
What year was it? 80.
87.
Oh, I was 6 years old.
Yeah, we were 6.
87. I graduated.
Well, that's.
My
I mean,
girlfriend
that's,
wasn't born yet.
87.
your girlfriend wasn't born yet. What's she? 23.
Something like that.
Dude, when you graduated, your girlfriend wasn't born yet.
Whatever.
There's nothing wrong with that, Richie.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
She's nice.
She's very sweet.
That's very cool. We'll move on to the next subject.
Yeah,
for
sorry,
you.
I didn't mean to.
No, that's perfectly
Interjected
fine.
that
But no, what
sly
I was
comment.
what I was getting at by that you've pretty much been through it all. You went from the film.
Yes.
You've encountered the digital.
Yes.
And the whole revolution. You've seen just about
All
a lot
of
of
it.
it.
Yeah.
Where did you start shooting?
I started shooting, I guess, high school. You know, I had photo 101 in high school, and that was fun. After high school, worked for United Van Lines for 2 years, moving furniture, and figured, this is not a good career move.
Long-term goals.
Yeah, I had other things I wanted to accomplish. And went to Antonelli Institute. And it was 88, 89. I graduated, 86, 87. Graduated in 87. And
How was it back then? The school.
it was a lot smaller than it is today.
There's a lot more women today.
Yeah.
It's
Like 88% women.
Yeah, I was
like
there
that when
for
we
the
were there,
portfolio
too.
review. And
Yeah, but some of them we couldn't touch.
Oh,
that's why you go to art
I
school.
married one by accident.
Yes, you
Apparently,
did.
this is Love Line with Richie. Sorry.
Story. That would be so funny to go into that, but we're not going to go into that, Richie. Because I know we talked last week about Antonelli, and I asked you, would you go back? Would you have a kid go back today?
Today, probably. There's a lot more to learn, I think, on the computer end today.
But here, I'm just going to cut you off there.
Yeah.
I don't think you go to Antonelli to learn how to use the computer. If
No,
you
okay,
don't know how to
maybe.
use
You
this
know,
stuff,
I don't know though. Because
Honestly,
they have a really
I will
good graphic
say-
design department too. So I mean, and it's such a small school. I personally, I would go back.
Well-
I would send a kid there absolutely.
It's so hard to. I mean, you don't want to look back and say now it's a bad decision because of the people you met. I'm sitting here with
sure.
Richie, and so many people.
Yeah.
And I went to school with Richie, and Richie, you ended up you were at Antonelli as well, Jeff, and we met a lot of people.
Sure.
Our small group of people that we work with, a lot of us were from there.
Yeah.
But I think these kids coming up need to have a pretty good understanding of the digital straight out before they even get into school. They should have a good understanding of what they're doing.
Well, at the time when I left Antonelli, I had no idea what needed to be done to be a photographer. I figured, well, I graduated, I'm a photographer. I drove into New York looking for a job. Well, let me back up a little bit. One of the teachers was real sharp, and he said, well, you should probably, if you want to be a commercial photographer, go and assist, which is definitely what you want to do.
Absolutely, especially today if you can find it.
Yeah, absolutely. We drove into the city, parked my car, walked around. I had a friend who worked in the city in advertising and gave me a couple contact names and landed a freelance job with Nick Samaj. And it was apparent after the first day on set with Nick how much I didn't know about the world of photography and advertising.
What'd they tell you? They told you could work for one day, and then if we like you, we'll bring you back?
Well, that was going to big city. I had Nick was a good guy. He knew that I was looking for something more full-time than just freelance, because I didn't have a big list of freelancers that I could fill in my time with. I needed to get something steady. So at the time, it was Big City Productions that I started at. It was Howard Berman, who I ended up working for, Steve Bronstein, who his claim to fame was all the absolute. He was a phenomenal special effects before everything was done in camera on film. Earl Culberson was another still life product photographer who was really good, a bit crazy but good. And it was all owned by Steve Steigman, who started out shooting print. And when I got to Big City, he was doing TV commercials. But his big shot was the Maxell ad.
Right.
Yeah, the guy in the chair, the blown away shot.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
So how did it work? You show up, or somebody gets you an
Nick had said that Big City was looking for a third assistant, because everybody...
Not first, not second, but third.
Yeah, everybody usually had... Well, those guys, they had three... They were big guys. They had three guys. And third assistant generally ran film and did a lot of darkroom work, all the black and white. They shot...
Well, that's pretty damn important. The guy running the film... I mean, you don't want to screw that up.
Well, if you did, you weren't around long.
No.
Yeah. We would shoot. Again, you shot test rolls, so you always ran your test roll first if you knew you were going to push or pull. And then, but you weren't just cut loose in the dark room
all right.
off the bat. First, you had to prove yourself to even be a third assistant, but you had, the third assistant was not the best job at the time.
So you were telling me you got in for one day.
Right. I talked to Howard's first assistant, Steve. And he said, well, generally we like to try you out for a day. You have to work for free. And if we like you, maybe we'll bring you back, So I went, worked a day, and again, realized just how much I didn't know in the world of advertising photography. But it was my lucky niche was they did a lot of set building, and just things happened really quick. So I was always good with my hands. I could fix stuff quick. Rig stuff, assemble, whatever. So I think I made a somewhat good impression the first day. Asked if I could come back. They said, well, we have another guy coming in tomorrow. We're going to try. So I said, well, I'll come in too.
Yeah.
So I just kept showing up.
So you didn't take no?
No,
I mean,
I would.
You just
basically, I stood at the front door for like 4 or 5 days every day waiting for them to unlock. And then I come in and just start working. Either pushing a broom around or cleaning, and just kind of hung out until they said, all right, well, you're a pain in the ass, we'll give you a job.
Yeah, there's nothing better than being persistent with that. There's ways of being persistent, and it's much harder today because everybody wants to be a photographer. There's a lot of people that want to do it, and we suggest trying to get to being an assistant. And it's funny because we have people, Ari knows that, we have readers like, Sam Green, and we work with... I helped this kid out. He's going to Antonelli now, and I helped him with his portfolio, but he's just persistent. He just wants to hang out. He wants to keep going bowling. He wants to hang out with Leora. Right, Richie?
And honestly, the reason I got the job, it was not because of my photo skills. It was because of my ability to think on my feet.
Right.
Assemble stuff, keep up, move fast, shut up, and... just be ready for whatever Howard would need.
And that seems to be it. You just have to be able to be good at what you're doing.
Right.
You just get in there. I mean, I probably could help build a set. I don't know. I'm not very handy with many, many things other than taking pictures. Was that a laugh, Richie?
No, I'm just thinking I can't. I'm a horrible set builder. Sax will tell you.
Sax did tell me. I was going to hold that back.
He'll call me
I did not say that.
He'll be like, yo, we have to pre-light. It's a set build day. So I'll be like, all right, I'll stop by. I'm not going to waste your time because I can put together A-frames. That's about it.
Well, when you find a good assistant.
Hopefully Sean's around for that stuff.
Well, yeah, Sean's out in what, LA? Right? Well, no, where is he right now?
He's in Los Angeles.
He's back in LA now.
Yeah, I spoke to him last night.
Yeah. Sean's a cool guy. I have to have him on one day when he's back in the town. If he's there.
He's pretty Hollywood.
He's pretty Hollywood.
I have to call his agent.
Yeah.
Does he have an agent?
No.
You just call him.
Just a staff.
Be like, let's go. He did some cool things with Richie, right?
Corey Rich.
They
did the D4 video.
They did the D4 video in Mexico and everything. You can see him. I mean, he's very good at what he does.
What's great is
Sean,
we're all
yeah.
canning guys, and I actually got a call, and he's like, I can't tell you what I'm doing, but how do I do this?
Right. I remember that.
3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, where are you? I can't tell you. It's all non-disclosure. And, as soon as it came out, he's like, that's where I was. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you were using Nikon.
You're using a helicopter to fly a camera over a guy kayaking,
Which is pretty
it's
crazy.
the first time we ever used Nikon.
So how do you keep an assistant? Because assistants want to be photographers, usually.
Yeah. How do you keep? Well, unfortunately, I'm not big city production, so I don't have anybody on staff so much as someone like Howard and Bronstein, and it's tough to keep an assistant. A good one, it's tough to keep.
Yeah. How'd Richie get the job?
Sean.
How'd Sean get the job?
Antonelli.
Well, no, I actually.
His uncle's your friend or something.
Yes,
Isn't it?
yeah,
Something
his
like that.
uncle,
Like
Sean's
6 degrees
uncle.
of
I met
separation.
Sean's uncle through a client of mine. He said, "Hey, I got this nephew. He's getting out of Antonelli. He's a good guy. I think you'd really like him." And yeah, first day, Sean was a lot like I think I was when I was younger. He's
Sean's
very
fun to-
enthusiastic.
Yeah, I mean, and he's toured with bands, right? He's been the guitar tech,
He's done it all, man. He's
traveled the world
He
many
doesn't
times.
hesitate to do anything he wants to do. He just goes.
He just goes and does
He's
it.
full to. I mean,
Oh yeah, and if he can't do it, he'll tell you he can do it,
Yeah.
and then fake it. And 9
it'll work
times out of
It'll work.
10,
It's frustrating, but it
you
works.
won't even know that he faked it until
Yeah.
the 10th time, and you're like, "Oh, dude, come on." But and then it doesn't matter. It'll catch fire and burn to the ground, and he'll pick it up, fix it, and
Sure.
figure it out.
So you were assisting for the
Very
big wigs.
intuitive.
Yeah,
You got into that.
Yes.
How do you make how many years was the transition?
I was in New York for 3 years, and after about 2.5 years, I was debating: do I want to start freelancing? But at the time, Howard and the place where I was at, there weren't a lot of photographers in New York that were much better. So other than fashion, I wasn't going to learn anything new because, like I said, these guys were, it was big city productions, man, back in the 80s, 90s, and I guess they kind of dissolved around 2000, I believe.
So you learned quite a bit there.
Yeah.
More than you ever
It was,
did in school.
like I said, it was 4 floors of photo studios and a 5th floor of production people. It was I'd say 30 people on staff.
So it was a good community. So even on
that's under one roof. There's not a lot of photo studios with 30 people on staff with 4 photographers shooting national
Constantly,
ads
yeah.
daily.
Well, how do you make the transition? You go from an assistant and you start doing. Well, I'm sure you don't just start picking up big ass jobs.
No.
But where did you go from there?
I moved back to Pennsylvania into Doylestown, and I rented a little loft attic in Doylestown and started shooting location stuff, portraits. My first commercial job was the Simcoe Elevator Company.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you shoot an elevator?
Well, all their components, buttons. They put the elevator in the Statue of Liberty. That was their big claim to fame.
So did you have to go up there and shoot it?
No, they had a stock picture of that.
Oh, what fun is that? A stock picture. It's just like I can see the ad now. It's the Statue of Liberty head and an arrow pointing to. We put the elevator in the Statue of
This is
Liberty.
the 80s. Think about it. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
there's probably like
Oh.
a cloud effect, and
Oh yeah, it was horrible. I think I still have that somewhere. I shot their annual report and some of their.
it was the booming 80s. I
Well,
mean,
but we think
late
differently
80s.
of stock today.
late 80s.
But stock today is.
well, no, I guess early 90s, right? When you came back from.
No, it was
from New York?
88. I moved 88. I left New York.
I was 7.
Oh yeah.
80. No, I'm sorry.
No,
I
you-
graduated in 80. I
you
needed
were
to
with
write
Howard
this
for
down.
a couple of years, right?
Yeah, it was about 90, I guess. Yeah.
So digital's not even
we were,
around
we were
yet.
in middle
No.
school.
I shot
just-
Well, there was drum scanners, but
Well, drum scans are sweet, dude.
but
They have
how
drum
much-
scanners
I mean,
now?
how much were they back then? Jeez.
20 grand? 40
They're
grand?
still that. They're still that much.
10
No,
grand.
you can pick up drum scanners because you got to find a SCSI cable for it.
It's
like-
I'm saying
I have some of
now
those.
stick technology. Yeah, we oh man,
I have
Plug
SCSI.
right into those Emacs.
Right into the EMAC upstairs. I love that.
Steve
Yeah.
Jobs is rolling in his grave right now, going, "I should have sold him more products."
Well, let me set that up for you. Up inside the trailer, which is on the second floor, which there's I got to do a picture of.
With Sean Wired.
Sean Wired. I love how the tail lights are on right now.
Sean fixed the taillights.
He did. It's great, and it's small. Who makes that?
That is a 1966 Yellowstone camper trailer. It's, I think, a 12-footer.
Yeah, so it's not. I mean, you couldn't do very much in there. You'd rock that thing. If
Now,
you took it out.
when I brought it in the studio, it was rough. I had seen it, and like I said, I used that for a promo piece with my old sales rep. And after that, it kind of sat in the woods in my property for like 2 years. My wife kept saying,
do something
throw it out, get rid of it. I'm like, no, I'm going to do something fun with that. And then,
one day.
Yep.
And there it is. So it's kind of like an office. You've got 2 desks, computers, paperwork, just everything sitting up there. And I know
It's
Richie
like a
likes
cubicle with a roof.
it. It is. It's a cubicle with a roof.
But it's fun. Like, you sit in there and you don't feel like you're,
Well, I know.
I sit up there, like, when you guys were filming, I open the little window and I
Well,
just,
yeah, that's
I watch the
that's what
set.
I love about it is
Yeah,
that you
you
can,
can
it
spy.
comes out the back wall that hangs over the studio, and you can just kind of peek out it.
Yeah, there were times we were sitting
You're
in
trying
front
to hide,
of.
it's great.
Yeah,
There's been days where I hide up there and I, like, watch Sax and make sure he's not mad at me anymore.
Jeff, are you mad at me?
Sorry.
I didn't mean to trip over the cable.
that was mine.
Yeah. I don't
What'd
do
you just
that.
do to the cable?
do far
Ripped it
worse.
square out of the body.
But did it
2 days?
mess the body up too?
Oh yeah, that's what I really messed up.
That's
I think.
what you-
Thank God, I think the cable's fine.
Oh, the cable's fine, but the body's
The
messed up.
$50 tether tools gave me.
Tether tools. Did the tether tools work?
Nah, that came
The jerk
flying
stopper
off and
kind of was
broke.
part of the
and-
problem.
Yeah,
The jerk stopper screwed you up on that one?
I think it might have actually made it a little worse.
yeah, it might because once that jerk
'Cause it kinda
stopper
holds it there.
lets loose, I think it's kind of does the slingshot effect on it.
But when used properly, it works pretty well.
Yeah.
I've not actually. You know what?
It
I've
works great. I mean, I'm not.
I've yet to learn from my mistakes. It's the second one I've just really messed up, and about the 4th or 5th time I've yanked that jerk stopper off.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know if we can talk about it, but I saw that Kodak 14N over there that got run over one day.
Oh, it fell off the back of a truck when Sean was backing up, apparently.
Twice.
Well, he thought it was, a can of Coke he was trying to squash, apparently.
Anyway, that 14N was just talking about technology. Kodak had that full frame thing back in the day that was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
At the time, that was like what you wanted.
$14,000, I think. You paid for each N 14 times?
Yeah.
So when did you venture into digital?
With that bad boy, that was my first.
That was it?
I waited a long time to go digital. I had an E6 machine at the studio, so I had a little bit of an advantage for some people.
Not
'cause
even a film? That was slides.
E6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we shot was transparencies.
Huh.
Yeah,
you
our
had to-
commercial.
See,
film was
well, you went to
transparency.
Antonelli.
Yeah.
I left
They didn't
Antonelli
tell us
thinking
that.
you shot C41.
Well, well, they had the C41
Right.
processor and then the individual dark rooms in the back.
Transparency
commercial
film was
stuff
just
was,
one. It was just one project. You had to shoot.
Nah, we had one. Marcus
Ed.
always had us shooting.
Ed had to shoot interiors
because
that way.
he knew that's what that was commercial.
Ed was one of the best teachers
he
we
really
had
was.
there.
He was the sleeper. Either you appreciated him or you didn't.
Well, I had conversations about this with him. He's like, you know what? The kids that want to take the initiative and ask me for my help, awesome. And the kids that just want to do the little bit, fuck them. And he was quiet. And he kicked my ass. He's the one who changed how I shot. He said, you're great at shooting the sports stuff, but it gets boring after a while. Why don't you look behind you and see what's happening in the stands? And that's where the mentality came from, to go where others aren't and shoot behind the scenes more so than in the front. And that came from him. I know that was a little
They had
side.
one teacher
he
that
helped me a
really.
lot.
Yeah, see, mine was Phil Drucker.
He's
not
still around too.
Yeah, he's teaching at I think Art Institute. I think. He was the guy that taught me to look at light. So.
See the light.
Yep.
So did you shoot 4x5 or
Yes.
Is that what you were shooting? Transparency
Still have
4x5?
For product 4.5 and 810. Yep.
You had an 810. What camera?
We just had. I think it was just a Calumet body. It was all about glass on the on the view cameras.
Did you process the 8x10 negs? Was that was transparency?
Yes.
Can you get that?
We didn't
Richie?
shoot a lot of 8x10, especially in when I was working with Howard and Steve Bronstein. Bronstein shot all 810.
Well, how the hell do you stand
Culberson
that?
used to shoot 1114.
11 by 14. They made those view cameras.
Yeah.
And I know that you were
beautiful.
talking about Polaroids.
Yes.
Right. You had a couple of boxes of those.
Oh yeah.
The ones because we used to put them in the backs. There were film backs for them.
Yeah, you had 120, which was the for 120 I shot 665 and the 669, and then 4x5 we shot 55 and 59.
54 was the negative one, wasn't it?
The negative
55
ones were awesome.
55.
55 was the negative?
Yeah, 55 did an egg. 665 did an egg.
665, yeah.
Let me explain that to
I'm
everybody real
sure
quick.
we could just open the cabinet over there. I'm sure there's some in there.
Oh yeah.
Well, how that
we
works.
sold the Polaroid a couple years ago, remember?
I
Like
had a bunch of
$180 a
like
box or something?
4-year outdated Polaroid.
Because you
that
can't
was
get it
just-
anymore.
And someone said, "Don't throw that out. That's worth money."
And you sold it and you got money.
That was ridiculous.
Well, I was borrowing the back for a
Right.
job.
Oh, yeah.
I got a call to Digitech on a 4x5 job. A kid that, a photojournalist friend of mine was like, I've never shot a 4x5. So I film teched.
You mean you did everything?
I did what Jeff used to do. And I
Right.
was like, it was fun. I love 4x5. I personally loved 4x5.
I know you did. You used to shoot a ton of
I
interiors.
would-
I
yeah,
remember
I would-
seeing some of the
I would still
houses you
use them.
shot.
Yeah, I'd still use it if I could. I mean, it's
Cost
not
prohibitive.
affordable.
And how the Polaroid worked. If I'm gonna sneeze here. I've never had to sneeze on the show, Ari. How about that? I'm not gonna sneeze. I'm not gonna do it. I got it.
So you talk about it, it just goes away.
Yeah, exactly. How the 4x5 Polaroids worked. You got that instant Polaroid thing. Well, you put it under your armpit for like 70 seconds or something, and then you pull it, and then the one with the negative had
60
truly
seconds.
a negative.
Yeah, 60 seconds, I think, for the black and white, and 90 for the color.
Oh, so
depending
I
on
was
what
good
it
at
I
was.
always
70.
did the two-finger thing.
You did the two-finger
Slide.
rub down to make sure that all of the
just
juices got
spread
flowing?
Spread the agitator out.
Yeah, I used to do the
and shake it.
Yeah,
shake
under
it.
the shirt, or don't ever shoot it with it outside when it was cold. That
You
was
take forever to process,
well.
right?
You had to also take that in consideration,
Yeah, that would
which I
process
found
slower.
out. And
Cool
yeah,
process, huh?
or if you're out in a hot parking lot, you can really screw yourself over.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Did you? How?
Oh, that was my first big job. I did a Pepsi ad with Richard Petty back in like 92, maybe 91. And we were out in North Carolina. It was about 170 degrees in the parking lot. And I was sitting around all day because they were doing TV spots with them, and I was just doing the billboard and print stuff.
I was only doing the billboard and print stuff, guys.
Oh, I was low man, trust me.
No, but still billboard.
Yeah.
And just Pepsi.
So
Yeah,
everything-
those Pepsi.
Small non-branded
I'm sorry.
company.
I was shooting Pepsi.
Yeah, everything was just so
It was back in
hot
RC Cole days.
that I'd never experienced Polaroid going it just over processed. So I would shoot something and I thought, I got my exposure, I'm good. And then I ran a test roll and I was about a stop and a half underexposed.
And that's not good with transparency.
Not on transparency. Now you have about a half a stop leeway with transparency.
I don't think most people understand that today. Is
No.
that like I shot film and I did not get my exposures perfect. I was a stop off usually with film for whatever reason because I concentrated mostly on capturing the moment more so than getting that exposure perfect because I felt that the tweakers missed the shot and then the people that get the shot you can tweak a little bit later. But I know with transparency, if you're not on, you're
you need
you're
to
off.
be And the trick with transparency too, back in the Polaroid days, is you needed to know how to read a Polaroid. That was one of the things I learned a lot
You had
from
to stop
Howard.
down, too. didn't you?
Well, you knew when you were blowing out something, you would look at a Polaroid and it would be totally gone. But you knew on Polaroid, it would about half a stop to 3/4 of a stop actually darker on the film. So you would shoot a Polaroid a half a stop or 3/4 of a stop down, then you knew, like for your background light where you were blowing out a window, it was actually going to be like this on film, and then you went back to your main exposure where you were close for whatever.
Is it coming back?
And
to you
then
now?
and you also generally got about a 1/4 of a stop more shadow than what would show on Polaroid.
That stuff's just insane because today, I mean, we have those things that we do.
Well, the
that,
back of our camera is a Polaroid, basically.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, and we
I mean,
know that
And the computer's the Lightroom. Is the darkroom now.
right, and it's not all.
It's called Lightroom.
It's called Lightroom
Yeah.
I never realized.
because you do it in the light.
Yeah. Good job, Adobe. Pun.
Exactly. Well, that's just crazy. That
Hey,
you,
I just got that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just,
it is pretty crazy though that you start to understand how the film works. I mean, that's that's what you do. It's like, oh, I know this is off by a quarter stop. I need
Yeah.
to do that. It comes into that whole bellows factor.
And
bellows
that-
extensions.
Yeah,
I
and
was
that
like-
was where
failure.
could be where you would shine, is by learning how to read a Polaroid.
Right.
And it was the same size as the film, so you were actually looking at, when I was shooting roll film, I was looking at a 6x7
Right.
centimeter
Exactly what you were
Polaroid.
saying.
Yeah,
which was cool.
it was small,
But
you
that
had
was on
little-
a 4x5, correct?
Well,
It
now
shot
this
smaller.
4x5 would be a
That was
4x5
medium
Polaroid.
format.
But I mean,
Medium format was tiny.
Medium format, wait, it was 6x7 centimeters.
but on the
I shot a
6.7,
6.7.
didn't the Polaroid 4x5 back go on that
No.
and just shoot a smaller square?
No, they were little cartridges.
On the one thing you could do that with, I forget, it was like on a Maya, I think the RZ. I think you could
6.6,
put something
right?
or something on the back. You could use there was like an adapter or something.
All right.
I
Yeah,
think just because a
maybe.
kid in our class was too
Well, it was
cheap
a lot.
to buy
The
Polaroid
problem
back
with
for
the 4.5s, they were a sheet at a time. The
Right.
the 120 Polaroid or the 665, 669, it came in packs of 8, so it was like a little tin cartridge
pool.
that went inside.
I never saw that.
Like a
You
real
never
Polaroid.
pulled a Polaroid.
Remember
No, I've pulled
remember
Polaroids.
cameras
I've never
had-
seen the...
not a Polaroid.
No,
I
I
mean,
pulled the
okay.
4x5
Okay,
Polaroids
yeah.
when we were in school.
But that was
and
a sheet, and then you had the dark
You go,
side. You know.
Right.
And then you do that, but I never saw the smaller one. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I've got boxes of them.
Yeah, have you played with it? And
Well, no, I mean all my old
exposed ones.
Polaroids. Yeah, I
Now,
would.
those negatives were awesome. The fact that you got the
665
negatives.
negs were incredibly sharp. They were sharper than what was it? Plus X is what we used to shoot.
And
or
it
T.
was like a built-in backup too when you shot like the negative with the
that
Polaroid.
was
like,
and that was the way
all
you
else
checked
fails,
focus.
You know, if you
Yep.
took care of that negative, man, you're straight.
Yep. You just pull an egg, dip it in some sodium sulfite, would clear it, rinse it off, and put a loop to it, and you knew that was your focus.
That's
how you
cool.
checked focus.
So you just said you've done Pepsi with Richard Petty.
Right. So
What-
anyway, yeah, I was, like a stop and a half underexposed. And that's, after that first job, that's when I bought my E6 machine, because I used to go to Custom Color in Glenside to get my film processed. And generally...
Custom Color. That's where
Remember
Antonelli
Custom
took the
Color?
stuff, right?
That's who used to do our film too.
Are they still in business?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
No,
They were good people.
A lot of like our labs. I mean, we're Philly-based area is not gigantic. A lot of our labs went out.
Taylor Photo's
You
still
know,
around.
Taylor's still around. Philly Photographics still hanging in there. I mean, there's a couple of them left.
Yeah.
So
So
they don't run film.
So you got that E6 machine, but what are some other big jobs? I mean, you throw Pepsi around like it's nothing, and Richard Petty. I mean, I know you have a Richard Petty
that was-
fender up on the wall from a crash or something.
Yeah, he signed that and gave that to me after the job. It was, like I said, I was low man, so I had a lot of time waiting for him. He'd go on set to do the TV spot. So I got buddies with the crew, and that was his last year of racing. And he had crashed, I think, a couple days before at Darlington or somewhere, and they had piles of bent sheet metal laying around. And the one kid said, "Grab some. It's a good souvenir. He'll sign it for you."
That's cool.
Yeah, no,
That's
he was
cool.
Good man.
So how do you get a Pepsi job?
I got a Pepsi job from my old girlfriend's. Used to work for. This is a tough one now. Let me think.
Wait, his Emacs are processing right now.
Yeah, they are. All 288.
you could hear the thing smoking up there, or smell it smoking
It's got a floppy drive.
It
on the back.
was
on the back.
No, I'm just kidding. Zip drive.
the agency owner was Mel Korn. Now, if I say Mel Korn and anybody realizes who I'm talking about, they're going to think I'm a fossil, because he was like the quintessential ad guy of Philadelphia way back when. He was the man that wrote, "You can stake them in the north, you can stake them in the south, but the best place to stake them is when you stake them in your mouth."
Is that a secret word, Ari?
That was the first Philly, the steakums, the frozen cheese.
Oh, that's
steak.
what you're talking about.
That
So-
was his claim to fame.
Okay, so
Anyway, he
Wait,
was
wait,
a
wait.
good buddy of mine.
so we do the thing called the secret word and the secret phrase, and it comes up from
Steak
time
'em
to
in
time.
your mouth.
So, guys, steak 'em in your mouth is this week's secret phrase. You put it up on the Twitter, you put it up on the Facebook, put it out wherever you want. Make sure you hashtag Raw Talk and send it to @FroKnowsPhoto or do it on the Facebook wall.
Google Mel Korn. He was married to Jessica Simpson. Jessica
Not
Savage.
Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Savage. I'm sorry, Jessica Savage.
Who's Jessica Savage?
She was the Philadelphia reporter. She drowned in the canal and New Hope.
How'd she manage to do that? Really?
I think they were divorced. They'd already been divorced, but she was with her new husband and their dog, and somehow it was wintertime and it rolled from a parking lot into the canal through the ice. And
Oh.
yeah, it was bad.
That's
news.
crazy.
It was
Anyway.
sad. Yeah.
Anyway, hey, Richie. I just saw you button your flag. Hey, are those buttons?
What's that?
Are those button jeans?
No, I don't. I only wear 511s now, so
Oh, 511s. I just...
I'm like weird about certain things. You know how my shoes are. I'm the same way with like jeans.
He's like, well, Richie is he's got more clothes than a lot of women. But the reason I mentioned... The reason I ask about
Not
your...
more, just nicer clothes.
Well, 511s, I was
More
just...
variety.
I just bought some 501s. Adam bought me a pair of 501s
I saw
for
You
my
start
birthday.
from the bottom up.
What? I was just going to say, I couldn't figure out how to button these things. I started
used
from
to-
the top, and I'm trying to go, this doesn't work. I can't figure it out. Now I'm an expert
Yeah.
at buttoning my fly.
Yeah, you start at the bottom. You know.
It actually goes pretty easy.
If you do the top one first, then you get your fingers. It's just a mess.
I thought I had to be right-handed because I'm left-handed. I'm like, do you have to be right-handed to button these things? And then Richie's like, you start at the bottom and you go to the top. And now I'm really proficient in it.
Yeah.
I just ordered 2 more pairs.
Button flies.
See, that's what's not. I mean, I started wearing Levi's last year because I
got
can
the original button
find
flies.
any fit I want, or any color I want in the same fit, and just
And
order
you
them
like
the same
color.
size. I mean,
They have to match
you
the shoes and the hat and the clothes.
know, I like to look presentable at all times.
I'll tell you, Adam was telling me that you travel with a duffel bag of clothes.
Yeah, I take a lot of clothes with me.
Adam's going with
Yeah.
Adam's got an airport security and a shoulder bag, and
That's
Richie
not true. Now he's just throwing me under the bus
or the plane.
or the plane. Yeah.
But no, I could see you coming up with a duffel bag to travel with all
Yeah,
your clothes
like I went to New York to see my girlfriend this weekend. Like I take a full duffel, like
on a road trip for 2 days.
for 3 days.
We're gonna go out for
I
a
don't,
night.
I don't lay around in the clothes I'm gonna go out in. I like my shirts to be pressed, and
You need some I Shoot Raw shirts.
you need to make like collared ones, like nice. Make an Oxford that says.
I'll
I
make
shoot
you
raw
a
on it.
special one.
All right.
Not a special one. By the way, I'm
I'll wear it on
wearing.
set for you.
I'm
I
wearing
like
the
that.
Star Wars version.
That's nice.
Star Wars version.
Sax would get down with.
I
some
never
of this
got
stuff.
one.
Well, this
Yeah.
just can't. It's at the time of filming this. Nobody knows
I've
about
never
it.
got. Oh,
I have to get you one. I'll
won't
get you a
tell
shirt.
anybody.
You look like a large
yeah, boys husky.
boys husky. So I'll get you that. But the Star Wars shirt's up in the store. You guys can check them out. Oh darn it! It's a space shirt. It's called a space shirt. Ari, get the cutter ready. The space shirt. It's the space shirt edition.
You can't use.
Oh yeah, I think that's
trademark.
copyright
Yeah.
infringement. Yeah, I know
Space
that.
edition.
Maybe
Ari,
it's patent pending. Maybe you're okay.
we're good. Ari says we're good. I got the thumbs up. It's the space edition shirt. I like the design. It just.
It's not. I back it.
I'll bet George
I back
Lucas
it.
would let that one slide by.
I don't
Well, he
think
just
can-
sold
I
to
don't-
Disney, so
I don't think
Disney.
you.
Oh,
say
yeah,
his name.
you're
I think his
screwed,
name's
yeah.
trademarked.
Yeah.
too,
Yeah, you
isn't
can't say his name. You can't say the droid.
Disney will come and shoot you in the face.
When the Disney's going to send like
it? So far, up to $10,000 in usage right now.
droid.
Standing here with his hand.
Yeah.
Mickey, give me that,
Yeah.
asshole.
Goofy's got a bat. I'm sorry, bro. Chill out.
But it's Goofy.
Yeah. He's my favorite.
Goofy was. I had the Goofy hat.
Yeah,
the
dude.
original Goofy
I
hat.
had him sign it. when
I
was
did
in
too.
Disney
I
World when I was a
had
kid.
my Antonelli senior portrait taken in that hat.
Antonelli.
He's a one-upper
The
because
big
he actually
group
did
shot
it.
outside.
We had a
did
group
that.
shot.
did
We
that.
never got
There's
it,
37 of us, I think.
and we never got it.
Well, I think I don't even know if I was there.
I know who shot it too.
Who?
What's his name? Who used to be in the store? Who had the weird sideburns?
Oh, he did a lot. We ran into him
in the store.
on an alternative press shoot. He used to have to
Was that-
start
No,
on
not
these.
that one. Not that kid. That
Mike
kid was
Price?
horrible.
Shane.
Not Shane. I'm not talking about
Oh,
Shane.
Was it Mike Price?
No,
in the
no, it
store?
was-
He used to be in our.
It was. Come on. He used to go to Allen's.
No,
He used
Mike
to do-
Price used to hand out the.
Brian?
He worked for Cipollini,
Lou Cipollini?
in the studio. He had the weird sideburns coming to Allen's, and
I don't remember.
I just forget his name.
I don't remember who worked for Lou.
Oh well, I forget. My bad. Anyway, Pepsi.
Pepsi.
And that just was like, they crashed. So you did Pepsi jobs. Who else
Insert
have you
morning
worked
show
for?
crash here.
What? There has to be people you know who you worked for.
Like big name stuff.
Just names.
Names. I did a lot of. I had a big stint where I went through
The luggage.
Oh well, that was
that
the
Samsonite?
luggage. No, Samsonite was not. No.
What-
It was York luggage at the
luggage.
time, but they had all the what was it, Christian Dior,
Yeah, that's what
Bill
it was.
Blass, Jordache,
Bill Blass.
Bill Blass.
Z Cavarici.
what was the Diane von Furstenberg? They had 7 or 8 designer labels that they manufactured, and that was a great client of mine for years. They ended up going Chapter 13. It stuck me for a ton of money, but that's another story.
Welcome.
Is there a Chapter 13, Richard?
Yeah.
Welcome-
Well, first they go
welcome to
Chapter
the
11,
business of
and then they say,
photography.
well, we owe you money now, but if you stick with us
Oh, no.
and keep working for us,
We'll stick you again
We're
later.
we'll go
when we
Chapter 13 and really fuck
After
you.
we
Yeah.
go 12, we'll
gonna
get
owe a
to
lot more
13.
money.
And if you stick around there, then we'll get to 16, and you're screwed
Nah,
even more.
13's it. When you hit
13's
Chapter
it.
13, you're done. Yeah, that's when they they sell off the
That book
file
ends.
cabinets and
That's when they say we'll give you 7 cents to the dollar.
and you never get it.
Because they have to pay off the lawyers
honestly, I
first.
would have settled for the amount of postage I got in letters from the attorneys rather than because I got nothing.
The whole legal side sucks.
Oh yeah,
Well, you know,
because there were
it's part of the
there were
business.
people I'm sure they owed a lot of money to. You know, my couple $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 was nothing.
What?
It was not that.
Well, I know that you also got into. How do you get into the pharmaceutical photography game?
That's how I got into it. Again, just through contacts. I have friends that work at different agencies, and they would move to different agencies, and that's basically how I get my name out. My best marketing was just
Knowing
waiting
people.
for someone to get fired and go to another agency, and then I was there.
And they took you with.
Yeah.
Because I guess those guys or girls would jump around from one agency
Yeah,
to another.
yeah.
And that's good. I mean, that happens all the time. When you get in with somebody and then they get fired and then you got to try to get in with the
Right.
new person. It
Right.
sucks. But then they take you to the old person to the next place and hopefully you continue to do their
I mean,
jobs.
that's kind of the agency game, unfortunately. There's not a lot of job security because if they lose a lot of income or big clients,
Yeah, client
then,
goes, you
know,
go.
Heads got to roll, or we got to cut costs and people get let go.
Well, then speaking of cost, I would venture to say, are they paying as well today as they did back in the day?
Pharmaceutical or in general? No.
You could
in
say in
general,
general.
no, you're not. No, there's not as much money. I don't think there is. Maybe I'm wrong, but
You just got to find it sometimes.
It's now the budgets aren't nearly what they were for what I'm doing. Stock photography has put a big hurting on my type of work. I'm a conceptual. I guess I would be considered a conceptual photographer, where they'll come up with a comp or a layout and say, "Hey, make this." Or nowadays they'll send somebody in front of their computer for 14 days looking for a stock picture that they can buy for
10 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I see you
But
get
it's a lot more comp work too, because like Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff. I mean, just from working with Jeff over the years, he's one of the few photographers that I've ever worked for that when you look at a frame, it's done. It's not like when I go, all right, let's plate that. He gets bummed. He's like, I don't want to plate it. Like we'll fuss with we shoot liquor bottles. He'll fuss with it for an hour and get everything perfect, and it'll look like it was retouched.
right, so you don't
Where
want to
I
take
would,
it into the
where
computer.
nowadays somebody will shoot that in
That's only
half the
because I don't
time.
know how to use a computer. My Emacs
No,
real
but
slow.
it's also
when it comes
because-
to Photoshop 4, it just doesn't run it quick.
Oh, stop! You have a 17-inch that I made insanely fast for him, so he's happy now. But he's one of the few photographers out there. Like nowadays, it's not people don't do it like that anymore. People don't light it so it's perfect. Like he can light anything. Like we've shot incubators on 360 angles and not a glare in maybe 2 plates, 3 plates. Considering and that was after 14-hour day of arguing. Come on, Jeff, let's just shoot plate.
Well, it's
Because I'm a plate guy. I'm a
yeah.
retoucher,
Well,
and he's
I like being depending on who's doing the retouching too. It's nice. They tend to like you when there's a lot less retouching
Yes.
to be
Right.
done, or 17 files that had to be.
Well, we know.
But the ability to do that is remarkable.
Yeah.
To see some of the stuff he knows. Is
And that's spending
from shooting
days
film.
on set with
Yeah.
different guys that back in the day they did all their effects in camera.
Right.
But
lost art today.
It is.
And there's not a lot of people doing that. A
and
lot of
set
it is,
building, I love set building.
well, speaking of set building, you have what looks like a bowling lane hanging on the wall over there.
Yeah, the floor. Yeah, it was from what the heck was that from?
Sean, I think.
Yeah, I shot it. It was a sample of my work I'd done years ago of a bowling set of legs in a bowling alley.
Whose legs was it?
Jeez, I forget.
They were forgettable.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think.
Don't say it was your wife's legs. 'Cause
No, my wife, she's got great legs. Honestly, it was a sample. I had an idea of a woman tying her bowling shoes. It was like in the 50s. I do a lot of retro 50s stuff. I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that stuff floating around here.
I guess I didn't love it because I don't think I even have a print of it out.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the sets you've built. What's the coolest set you've built?
I say my diner. I think that was my.
You did that in here?
Yeah, at the old space. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And who was that for?
That was just that was a sample. It was an idea. Actually, it was a dream. I was shooting Ovation guitars, and the art director Pat was at this agency for a while and was just like, I'm sick of advertising, blah blah blah. I want to just be a diner waitress in Utah, and I had a dream that I was in a diner in Utah, and Pat was my waitress, and that's where I got my inspiration for that shot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool
So
one.
then I just built that's.
Well, a lot of the things, I mean, we know
So
from...
I built a diner.
You built it?
No, I'm just saying like that's like
Yeah, I
his
built a
mentality.
diner.
Like,
Did you at
he
least get
thinks
some
of things
eggs?
and he's just like, I'm gonna just build this and
Did it work? Did you
photograph it.
scramble some eggs up and hash
Yeah,
browns?
yeah. No, we have burnt eggs in it and everything. Oh, you ever see my diner shot? It's
Where is it?
right there.
I'm going to go look, Richie. I can't see from here.
And that's all in camera film. Oh, all right. Imagine doing that today. Like just lighting that wall, like just.
I mean, that is crazy. Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's pretty crazy. You build that stuff. I think we know from when we had Ben
See,
Loiner on.
that's what I love building. I'm like I said, I'm considered a conceptual photographer, I guess.
Well, I know where to go when I need to build something cool, and you want to set yourself apart. I mean, today, if you want to set yourself apart, build something freaking cool and do it in the camera. It's part of the reason I don't crop, Richie, is that I can tell people that I don't crop. Not to bring it back to me, but to bring it back to me is that, well, that's the same thing. He's like, you could just shoot a picture, comp it later, and put the portrait in front of it and make it all digi, which is cool. I mean, what Ben does is freaking awesome. I love what he does.
I mean, again, that's that's a job by job basis, but Ben's not a heavy retoucher. It's just a lot of the commercial stuff we do.
Well, but that's what these commercial people seem to love, and he does a great job at doing it.
Well, I mean, also, the cost of sending us and a full crew and everything out to, say, desert to shoot everything, and, you put the rental budget together, it's cheaper to comp.
I know, and there's a lot of blue meth that you guys need.
But I mean, in the same respect, I mean, it's cheaper to comp on your photography budget, not on your, graphic design budget, though. If yeah. That's why I keep, trying to establish with people, it is cheaper to do it in camera and
Yeah.
Get it right as much as possible.
Location, depending where you're at, or build.
Because, I mean, you see a lot of this comp stuff, like, it's not thrown together. This is weeks upon weeks of retouching and changing and doing this. And then, like,
well, I can say that the set that we used in my video guide for the beginner flash guide that we just filmed, we ended up using the whole kitchen setup, which was just here, and a 1950s refrigerator. And it was awesome that it was here.
Yeah.
It was really cool to have that.
That was my last sample. See, I'm again old school. We called them samples.
Samples.
Your sample of your work. I'm shooting a sample.
Portfolio.
Portfolio
Or personal work. Yeah. Stuff you're not getting paid for.
Samples.
Stuff that helps you get other jobs.
Right.
I like my shampoo.
Stuff that I really like to do
What's something that you have that you really would build if you had the chance to just take a couple weeks and build something kick-ass?
Whatever would come to me. I have right now. I don't know. I don't have any.
We're still thinking about the alien poster we were going to do.
Oh, and I do have the. Well, this will probably be a lot of pieces though. I wanted to do, and I'm not going to say it, but I have an idea with a bunch of old people. I want to put something really cool together.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see what it is.
It's wild.
Huh?
We'll talk off there. I'm sure it's
I
crazy.
do. I have a little bit of a, dark side, but I like to do funny, but a little off color.
Well, what's with the Elvis room, by the way?
It's just collection
something?
of junk that started out from my great Aunt Edna. I got a the Elvis 68 comeback commemorative plate from Bradford Collection.
That was number one. That was the first thing you got?
That was my first deal. Yeah, I got the Elvis plate.
And then there's a whole room now.
I have a whole room of Elvis stuff just because people think I collect Elvis stuff, so they throw Elvis stuff at you, and it just so
Because it's such a niche market. I mean, like,
well, my
either
favorite,
you like it or you don't. So if you
Right.
get Elvis, like if I get some
And
Elvis, I know I'm gonna give it to Sax.
I was
And,
never
like,
a big
You don't
Elvis
even like
fan.
Elvis, do you?
It's okay.
But like, when you walk in the studio, you think
like,
Sax is
like I'm
Sax
there.
is like in here, like listening to Elvis.
Well, my
I don't
favorite
think
thing-
we've ever actually listened to Elvis in this building.
It was my wedding song.
just Careless Whisper.
Okay. All right.
My favorite thing in that room is the Velvet Tiger on the wall.
Yeah. Now, where did that come from? We didn't. Who gave
That
that to
was
you?
again. That was just something someone gave
I thought
me.
I passed it along, but I didn't pass it along. Did Sean pass it along?
No, my
I thought I was involved in that. I took
Father's
credit for that. And I
buddy-
realized
You did
I
take
wasn't.
credit for that.
That's why I'm clearing the air.
that was in a friend's living room
Okay.
years ago, and then they were moving out to Montana, and they were going through all their junk, and this came up, and my dad saw it and was like, "Oh yeah, gotta have this for the Elvis room."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's next for you with photography?
What is next? Boy, whatever comes on down the road, I'll shoot. I love shooting people, and I like shooting product, so I'm kind of diverse there. Pharmaceutical is my favorite, just probably because financially it pays very well.
Well, you were telling me that the FDA started to have to approve all these ads now.
Well, they have for years, yeah. I know stuff will go in to wait for approval, and it could be months till something gets released, and then even after I shoot images and then it goes into the final ad, I believe it has to be approved again. I'm not that well versed on their end of it, what they have to do legally, but I know they have say in everything, the FDA,
So-
on typeface, colors, whatever's going into an ad. But back years ago, it used to be really lenient, and they could do some crazy fun stuff, and they gave away extraordinarily expensive gifts to doctors to get them to use their products.
Well, I was going to say, what is something that you did that today would not even be close to being allowed in an ad, if there's something?
The Lovenox stuff we did was probably the last of the fun stuff, because they were doing giveaways of snorkel sets, and then we did the packaging for the giveaways to the doctors.
Well, what was Lovenox? What's it have to do with snorkels?
Lovenox was a blood clot medicine. If you have surgery and you get blood clots, like if a blood clot breaks loose in your body, it can move to your brain and you have an aneurysm and you die. And this Lovenox was something that broke up blood clots and would keep them from going to your lungs or your brain or whatever.
And then the side effects may be possibility of stroke, heart attack, trouble peeing,
Extended
restless
rectum,
leg syndrome.
yeah, all the good stuff. Yeah.
There's always something.
right.
And then
Blindness in
sexual-
one eye, right?
Loss
Tourette's.
of sexual desire.
Right.
That's always in there. Vomiting, diarrhea, loss of sexual desire.
tenderness in the breasts.
I thought this was NyQuil.
See, I thought that was just getting old. Yeah.
And there we have it. Jeff, thank you very much for taking the time. Richie, thank you for coming out as well.
Of course, man.
This is very cool.
Thank you.
All right. And there you have it from Jeff Sachs' studio. We just wrapped up another edition of Frono's Photo Raw Talk. Don't forget about that secret word that you heard. How did it go again? Does anybody remember what the phrase was? What was the phrase? It's something about Steak-'em. There you go. It has to do with Steak-'em in your mouth. And so just listen. Well, you did already hear that, so don't forget, get that up on the Twitter, and it's jeffsachs.com to check out his work. Follow him on Instagram, and don't forget to like him on the Facebook. He wants some more of those likey McLikersons. But really, I want to thank allenscamera.com for all of their support. I know Richie used to work there. I used to work there. We get all our gear from there because it's a mom-and-pop store, and it's always good to support the little guy who can compete with the big guy and do a good job at doing that. Drobo, thank them again for doing... well, they've done some giveaways, and they're going to allow me to do more giveaways, so pay attention. We're going to get those out there. Definitely follow Drobo, see what they're doing. Some of the new products are really kick-ass, especially if you have a 27-inch iMac loaded to the gills like Richie has. He needs this Thunderbolt of the Drobo Mini and the Drobo 5D. Well, actually, he needs the Mini because he tours and travels a lot and needs that type of gear. Also, BBO Poker Table, though I'm not sitting at it, and though I don't know why I keep saying it, I just like my poker table and can't wait to get back to using it at my loft. And that's it. I guess it's the shirt too, right? The shirt. Don't forget about the shirt. It's the new cool edition. We're calling it the Space Edition. Check it out at the store. There's some really good discounts. And stop fighting over there, you two. And there you have it. Yeah, wow. Thank you for watching and listening wherever you got it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, just click the subscribe button right here below the video, as YouTube has made the change. And one more thing, click on subscription updates, manage subscriptions, and if you would like to get an email every time I upload a new video, click this box. If you'd like to see it in your feed on YouTube, click that box. And over on FroKnowsPhoto.com, if you haven't signed up for the Froknows Photo email list, you can go ahead and put your name in this box, your email in this box, hit send it, and I will send you a free photo guide, a guide to capturing motion in low light situations. If you're new to photography or you're somewhere in the intermediate range looking to learn a little bit more about your camera and how to get out of auto, don't forget about the Froknows Photo Beginner Guide, a guide to getting out of auto. It's at a special price right now. It's a 3-hour-long video. You can buy it as an instant download or as a physical copy with free shipping around the world. So thank you guys very much for watching.